everybody. Welcome to Sports Bitches. My name is Rachel Bonetta. I'm joined by my two sporty buds, Sarah Tiana, Megan Gailey. Oh my God, it is October, which is, in the Sports Bitches' opinion, the greatest month for sports of all time. I would even argue this October feels like the greatest October in the past few years. Like, there is so much excitement, specifically in Los Angeles right now. We got the World Series. We got the NBA tipping off this week. We got football. We just had the WNBA finals. The NHL started in October. Oh my goodness, there is so much to get to. I think that this is our first episode that we're not going to lead with football because there's so much other shit going down.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, don't forget that Monday is the sports equinox, which is when all four major leagues are playing on the same day. So that would be Monday, October 20th. I think it only happens once a year.
Okay. Is it equinox or equinox?
Yeah. Did I say equinox? I'm pretty sure.
No, you said equinox. You said equinox. The gym where my husband gets on the elliptical, which I actually don't think men should do, is called equinox. But you are saying equinox, and I trust you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Well, only because we're going to do a whole segment about how you're right all the time. So I don't want to go against you now.
I mean, every episode is about how you're wrong all the time. So
that is true. We fit the bill.
Their flowers.
This has been a humbling experience for me.
I love that any man on an elliptical gives Megan the ick. That's
and when CJ,
image.
he was like, he goes, it's better for my knees. I'm like, it's worse for
pathetic
my libido, you know? Like,
yeah. People at the gym do really weird things.
When you said the sports equinox, I was like, oh, is that like something with involving witches when they like get
I
together
thought it involved
under a
the
full
moon.
moon? A moon!
Oh, is that when the moon
This is the night.
full?
And we wish the moon well to wish luck on our teams.
I'm like, is this how old I am that like I've just
Where did you find this, in the Farmer's Almanac?
You guys don't read that every morning?
Sarah's favorite book.
Okay, so the sports equinox elliptical is happening. Meg, I'm so excited for you. You texted us the other day and you said that you guys got like splurge last minute World Series tickets.
Not last minute. Not
Too
last
early.
Minute. Too early, in my opinion.
Yes.
No, but it would only go up. The tickets are only going to go up in price.
She's talking about Dodgers World Series tickets. And Megan texted us during game 4.
5.
They were still in New York. They had not come
game
back.
4. Game 4.
That's what you mean. That's what you mean.
And you said, I just splurged on Dodgers World Series tickets. Like, I hope I'm not an idiot. And immediately I'm like, do I tell her she's an idiot? I'm like, what's the best practical way to say this and still keep our friendship?
I'm with you. I think that it's like your dream board. Like, you were manifesting. I bought tickets home to Toronto before the Raptors were even in the final series against the Warriors because I just had a feeling. I think it's a good call.
Yeah, I am superstitious though, and like CJ caught me at a vulnerable time, which is when I am laying in bed watching Housewives taking hits of my weed pen. Like, if you want to get me to agree to anything, that is the time to do it. When I am half listening, half high, I'm like, yeah, I don't have a job. Let's go to the World Series. Woo! And so we impulse bought them. They were so expensive. Yeah. And right after we did it, I go, oh no, we've jinxed them. And some of that is just like, I have rooted for teams that are jinxed my whole life. Like, the Indiana teams are not storied, you know? Like, they have a tough history. And it ended up not jinxing them. And CJ goes, if we jinx them, then we can go to Hawaii because we are going to get so much money back that we will be able to take a vacation somewhere.
We would not have let you live that down on this podcast. It would have been mentioned for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have had to ungentrify my neighborhood. They would have been like, you're the white girl who fucked up us going to the World Series. Get out of here.
How does that work? So if they don't go, you get a refund?
Yeah. And so we have tickets
I didn't
to games.
know that.
Yeah. Okay. We have tickets to game 6 because I'm out of town games 1 and 2. Then they go to New York. Then they come back here. So we have game 6 tickets. So, it's Yankees Dodgers. The price of the tickets has already gone up astronomically. I was seeing parking passes for $6,000 today.
What?
It's Yankees Dodgers. It's the two most annoying, richest fan bases that are like, we got nothing to lose. Everyone's dad is a billionaire.
It is the two. Like, I'm cheering for the asteroid, but I think it is really, really good for baseball that it's these two. I know everybody at MLB was just like, please. 6 to midnight immediately as soon as these two clinch, because it's going to be such good ratings. But it is kind of, it is like the two most famous baseball players squaring off against one another in Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. And it is really fun to see these two.
I saw a video of Shohei Ohtani when they were celebrating in the locker room, and he's just like, you're sober. Like, he was pointing to somebody on the news side that he was like, you're sober. And I think the tweet was just like, Shohei is having so much fun on the Dodgers.
Yes.
Like, I think for so long when he was with the Angels, like, he was just so kind of like, keeping to himself, not really showing
he was losing.
Well, there's that. But he seems like he's having an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not be romantic about Shohei? He is like the greatest baseball. It's like, as much as I hate the Dodgers and like I would cheer for Al Qaeda before them. Like, I do agree that Shohei is the greatest baseball player of all time. And anybody that ever tries to make that argument that's like, oh, well, Babe Ruth also pitched and threw. I'm like, well, Babe Ruth didn't play against Dominicans. That's A. Or black people. And people who played baseball back then didn't even play it full time. Like, they were like lawnmowers on the weekends. And like 5 of them played full time. So, like, it's not even like a proper argument. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a better argument that Babe Ruth was black. I think that's to me the more interesting argument about it.
Wow, I haven't heard that.
You have?
Yeah, he was adopted and didn't know his parents.
Okay.
Yeah, so they think he was maybe a child of like a mixed race baby that was forced to give up by the mother.
Okay,
interesting,
yeah,
babe.
Fun.
We all live in LA. We know LA is a Dodgers town more than anything. Like, Lakers tip off today, it's Dodgers. Like, that reigns supreme. It's hard to like explain that to people. It's like Lakers fans are everywhere. They're like the plague. They will go anywhere. Dodgers is like, this is our team. So when the fireworks, and I live on the east side, the fireworks started and went for hours. And I'm like, the people that don't like sports must be like, what is happening?
Yeah. There were fireworks last night at 1:30 a.m. And I got up out of bed and I was like, what's going on? I really don't even know what they were celebrating at 1:30. But you mentioned fireworks, so... okay, so speaking of the sports equinox, Sarah's having the time of her damn life in October. Your Bulldogs are just roaring, and you requested that we give you time up top to talk. You told us that there was like some singing at a stand-up comedy show. People are just obsessed with Georgia now. Honestly, I agree with Meg. It sounds pretty bad. So
I hear a ukulele. A ukulele's coming in, and I'm like, I'm out.
Here's what happens when you are a Georgia Bulldog fan and you hear, "Who's that coming down the track?" Then you go, "Who's that coming down the track? Big machine in red and black. Big machine in red and black."
Okay,
and that's it.
No.
No, there's
ain't nothing finer in the land. Ain't nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Oh, man, you guys are not good Georgia Bulldogs fans. But when you hear the call, like, hooty-hoo, like, whatever it is, like, that is our call. Everybody has a call. And when you hear who's that coming down the track,
Okay, I do have
then
goosebumps.
you just go, me machine in red and black. And that was what happened at the Laugh Factory.
Wait, when somebody says hootie hoo, do you respond with Heidi ho? What's the response to that?
No, that's like a story that I heard Cedric the Entertainer talking about one time. And it is not my place to discuss the hootie hoo.
Okay.
That is,
Okay.
yeah, that is not
moving.
for a white girl to discuss. But
So this is like the Georgia bat signal. Like
Yes.
it goes up and you go, I am with my people.
Someone here we
Gets
are
it.
friends. Someone here understands me. And I was a little tipsy on stage at the Laugh Factory, and I was wearing my Georgia Bulldogs shirt. I had just been working at my son's fundraiser, but watching the game on my phone. And everyone's, it ended up being a rager. Like people were doing tequila shots at this.
Oh,
At
I'm
the
sure.
fundraiser?
Yeah,
Yes.
the kids fall
Damn.
festival fundraiser.
Yeah, you got to get them drunk so they'll raise some funds.
I'm telling you, people were getting after it.
Whatever
And
happened to like a bake sale?
Nice try. That's cute. They do that too.
Everyone's
during the day.
allergic to gluten and nuts, so it's like
Yeah.
tequila serves everybody.
Nope, this Catholic school had it going. There was a 80s cover band on stage. There was a Filipino booth of food. There was,
Yeah.
I know, pizza, hot dog, everything. And then
Oh
like
my
the whole
goodness.
parking lot was full of trunk or treats. And when I said there were 50 cars for the trunk or treat, and these cars were like going out. Like people were in full makeup, full costume. There was even a rendition of the Ghostbusters car out there. Like, it was intense. And then bouncy hot. Anyway, so I was just a little tipsy. I had to go to the store and the Laugh Factory after that. And I'm getting off stage at the Laugh Factory, and as I'm walking out, this guy goes, "Who's that coming down?" And I'm like, that like gave me a second win. And I just couldn't, by the way, okay, I haven't even talked about the game, but I did not anticipate.
Were we going to keep this part short?
You know.
We said you
I
were
did not
allowed 2
anticipate-
minutes.
I did not anticipate winning that game, and I was so impressed with Georgia's defense in that game. Like, I've been saying all year that our defense isn't what it has been in years past. Obviously, it takes a while to build that back up after losing people to the NFL so often. But they were just after it on both sides of the ball. Like, they were aggressive the whole time. Even when we threw a pick six by the end zone, just an interception on the 1 yard line, and then we threw another one. And then there was that crazy thing that happened in the third quarter where there was, if it wasn't pass interference, it was at least holding by Texas. And they hadn't been called for any of the other pass interferences. So, this one was definitely due. And then all the Texas fans threw water bottles onto the field.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Was
then
that
they
what
had to
Eddie was
stop
sending
the
us
game.
earlier? That Matthew McConaughey was like, hey.
Yes. So then they had to stop the game because there was water bottles everywhere. And immediately your team, no matter what, gets another delay of game penalty, because if your home fans do something like that, you get a delay of game, period. And they reversed the pass interference call. So after the fans complained, the refs came back and go, okay, it's not pass interference. And they didn't get called for a delay of game.
You couldn't do that if you're the parent of a toddler, because you're then rewarding bad behavior, which I'm like, oh, okay, so you can just whine and make it go away?
Right.
All right. I'll do
How
that.
is that? It's highway robbery. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen happen at a college football game. And remember, last year at the...
All right. She getting riled
Last
up.
year at the Red River Showdown, which
Okay.
is Texas, Arkansas,
Take a
they
breath.
put a dead steer in front of in front of an Arkansas frat house. These people are insane, and I was so glad. I taught my son horns down that morning, and the horns went down, and I'm
went
very
down.
happy for it.
And then Alabama lost again too. So
It was great.
the
It was a great Saturday.
reigns supreme.
She's gonna buckle up, everyone. She's gonna be insufferable the rest of the season, I fear.
No, it's all good. You talking about this crazy officiating did remind me of something that I do want us to touch on over the weekend as we shift into basketball land. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know. Sarah, I know you were watching. Rach, I think you were too. The end of the Lynx Liberty game. Now the series went to 5, which next year they are they're bumping it up to a 7-game series. Yeah, that is the absolute right call. I think this final series was so great for it to not be anything about Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese or any. It was just like, these are 2 premier badass teams with stars, role players, girls saying I'm in my Birkin. Incredible. I, as a fan of a small market team, when the Lynx head coach afterwards said the title was stolen from them because of the Breanna Stewart foul with 6 seconds left, I tend to agree with her. I did not think it was a foul that you need to call with 6 seconds left in a title game. I honestly felt like such a mom. I was like, I want them both to win. Like, I was like so genuinely sad that either team had to lose. I think for it to be in New York, and like, I hate New York fans, but like, I'm not going to hate Liberty fans. They seem very lovely. I love the mascot. And for so many people to be talking about it, I mean, it led stories on SportsCenter. PTI was talking about it. And I know there was controversy around it, but the fact that people are talking about it, we're in a good place, because you are not a success until people are mad.
Basketball is back Tuesday night this week. Megan, you have been tasked. Last week I got you guys to got me to fall in love with baseball, but this week it's basketball. I actually love basketball. I'm wearing a Lakers hat right now. But Meg is going to take us through the top 5 storylines this NBA season that she is very, very excited about. So Meg, take it away. The floor is yours.
So number 1 storyline, I'm going to have to explain to my son that his dada is gone. His dada has been called to the front lines of NBA Twitter, and we may not see him again. We'll see you in July, CJ. We love you. Be safe out there. Okay, in all seriousness, number 1, actually, the East got way better. Paul George is now on the Sixers. This Timberwolves-Knicks reshuffling blockbuster trade, we still don't know how that's going to play out. I'm so excited to see. I have December 19th circled on my calendar. That is the first time the Timberwolves and the Knicks play. Oh, that's Dante DiVincenzo is mad. Like, he is yelling at Jalen Brunson's dad, who's an assistant coach for the Knicks, in the preseason. So, like, do I think Kat will be good on the Knicks? Sure. Do I think McCall Bridges and DiVincenzo will be good on the Timberwolves? Sure. But, like, has it made them champions? Either one? I don't know. Chris will be thrilled to hear this. I mean, the Celtics are still, I think, reign supreme. They are the reigning champions. They kept the core together. I think the rest of the East saw how dominant they were in the playoffs and said, we got to make some changes. And I'm excited to see how those changes play out.
Speaking of husbands being out, I sent this to you guys earlier, but there was this thing that went viral on Twitter of a man writing a letter. I think he sent his wife flowers and wrote a letter to her being like, I am not going to be here tonight because I think he's a Knicks fan and they're playing the Celtics and the Celtics are getting their rings tonight. And he's just like, listen, I love you guys. I'm going to be here for the family, just not tonight. And wrote a whole letter. So I think husbands and wives, they're excused. We're allowed to have our time to watch our sports.
Yes. Yeah. CJ was like, we were talking and he was like, well, and then Tuesday I'll have to leave at like 5:30. I was like, what is Tuesday? He goes, the Lakers home opener. Like it was like I had forgotten his birthday. Like I was like, that's not my team. You know, like I don't blow in the wind with what white boy you're excited about on the Lakers. You know, there's a man named Colin Castleton. Get out of here.
Oh.
Okay, second storyline. Yes.
I did hear really quick that Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. are going to be there for the Lakers home opener to watch Bronny and his dad.
Yeah, are we going to see that? Are we going to see that tonight? Is Bronny going to play?
Yes. And that brings me to my second storyline. Bronny.
Sorry.
It's such a massive story in the sense that I genuinely feel bad for him. It's just such a amount of pressure. It is going to be up and down. I want Lakers fans to give him grace, and I know that that's not possible for them. Lakers fans can't give anyone grace. They can't even give 9-month pregnant women who are there to just try and have a nice time grace. So it will be hard. I think it's going to be so picked apart. Every move he makes is going to be analyzed to the nth degree. So from sports bitches, Bronny, we want you to be healthy, and we want you to have fun, and we want you to learn. And we are behind you, even if the haters and the trolls are not.
I have a hot take. I feel like this is the safest possible place for Bronny to have ended up. I don't know why I just thought of an improv scene, but you know when you go and do improv with somebody who's like really good at improv and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be fine because they're gonna have my back the entire time. I'm not gonna make an ass out of myself because they'll save me. His dad is literally the greatest NBA player of all time. Like, and they've been playing basketball their entire lives. Last week we were talking about Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers linking back up, and it's been so long since they played together. What's that gonna look like? Bronny has been playing with LeBron his entire life. Pickup games in the backyard, shooting hoops, playing horse, whatever it is. Like, they've got that connection, actually, like a blood connection. I feel like this is the safest place for him to go because he's got his dad looking out for him.
I think it's also metaphorically the safest place because I think, watching this NBA Netflix show, like when LeBron is talking about Bronny having, his heart is, when his heart stopped at USC, and just like the trauma that takes and the toll that it takes on your family. Yeah. Now it makes so much more sense why he wants Bronny in LA. Like now he's like, no matter where you're playing, I will be there. So if something happens, I'm there with you. I don't have to leave my game. I don't have to try to find you, track you down, get a car from the airport to the hospital. Like I'm riding with you to the hospital. And like, I'm like, yep. That's exactly what I would do.
Wait,
he's a dad.
Am I gonna cry?
He's a dad before he's anything else.
It was.
But imagine if Bronny went to the Warriors. Like, it would be even. I think it would be even more pressure.
Yeah, I think.
Or any other team.
Yeah, I'm thrilled he's with his dad. It is a heartwarming story. I just know how Lakers fans are, and they're unwell. And so I want them, before they go insane and do out-of-pocket things, to take a deep breath and realize that this is someone's child.
I think you need to be speaking to your own husband. Yeah, what happened there?
Well, I tell him all the time. He comes in and he's like, this guy. I'm like, I don't care. You gotta it's enough. It's enough. 82 games.
We went to 2 nights before Cage was born, we went to see the Celtics play the Lakers. And I'm wearing a Celtics shirt, and that didn't hold any Laker fan back from screaming in my face yeah! And Chris was like, dude. He almost got in a fight.
Yeah, did something happen to you, Meg, when you were 9 months pregnant at a Lakers game?
I will say the women, very nice. Oh my God, how are you? And then, Lakers fans are just like animals. It's not even they're specifically going out of their way. They're just not even being aware that there's anyone else there. They're just truly animals. Yeah.
Okay, I'm loving this so far. Continue on.
Okay. Third storyline, Ja Morant returns. If you remember, Ja missed 25 games last season because of a suspension, because of off-court issues, and then he had a season-ending shoulder injury. So he is coming back to his teammates. I think it was actually very beneficial for him. He seems to be in a good place. He is talking about what a blessing he knows it is to be able to play this game, that he is able to help uplift his family. I think it was also helpful for the Grizzlies to have him out of the lineup and let other guys shine. And in the draft, they added a now trimmed down 7'4", 290-pound out of Purdue, Zach Edey. Ja seems so excited to play with him. When they drafted him, he immediately tweeted a scene from Rush Hour of Chris Tucker yelling about how tall that MFer is. So I think the game is better when Ja Morant is a part of it, whether people like him or not. I like him. I think he's so cute, and
I love
it's like
him.
sorry.
I don't think I do like him.
Wow.
I'll take the other side. And maybe, game one, he's going to hit a big three and he's going to have a celebration and he's going to be suspended all over again. I just think everyone's going to have his eyes on him this year. So.
Yes. And I think he just elevates like the showmanship and he's just a really fun player to watch.
Mm-hmm. Valid.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Storyline number 4. Do the young teams continue to reign supreme? So the playoffs, I think, really showed a shift, especially in the West. OKC became the youngest team to ever be a number 1 seed. The Pacers, a very young team, had a very unlikely run to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm excited to see if that changing of the guard continues into this regular season. There are a lot of very smart insiders that are picking the Thunder to represent the West in the finals. And I think Wemby had a very good rookie season, obviously learning some things. Now he has Chris Paul as a teammate who is an elder, but I think will help serve sort of as like another coach on the court with him. So it's like you've got Chris Paul, you've got Pop, all helping advance your game, that I think he's going to have a really impressive and very exciting sophomore season.
Ooh, I like that. I'm just looking at the team futures right now. Celtics plus 310 to win everything. OKC Thunder plus 650. New York Knicks plus 800. And then, Meg, you did mention your Pacers. Let me just hold on. I got to scroll down a couple pages.
I know. It's like
where are
they? They beat the Knicks in MSG. It's crazy. No, that's fine.
Plus 6,000.
That's fine. That's fine.
6,000 on DraftKings.
This is what they call bulletin board material. The Pacers do not want to be favored because they're like, fine, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We embarrassed all of you. You still don't think we're good. That's fine. Tyrese Halliburton with a little tiny chip on his shoulder. I love it. Continue to underestimate my boys.
Raptors are plus 100,000. So I can't say anything. Sarah, do you have an NBA team or are you just Celtics?
Yeah, I mean the Hawks. Yeah, I mean I do like the Lakers. I'm not supposed to in this house, so I don't publicly talk about it. But because I didn't really watch the basketball that much, because as soon as Dominique Wilkins left the Hawks, I was like, eh. And then we got Mutombo, and then that was like really fun for a while. And then I really loved Trae Young for like 2 years, and now I can't stand him. So I really don't even love watching the Hawks because I feel like all Trae Young does is beg for fouls. And I'm like, I wish you would concentrate on just shooting. With all your like little scruffy Steph Curry looking body. Like I just want you to just like focus on shooting and stop focusing on trying to draw a foul. Like it's just so annoying. So
it's crazy that like Trae Young is now a veteran because as I'm talking about OKC, he used to be like the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then it seems like overnight he like missed that window with injuries and the team, and I don't know, that it's kind of a disaster. My fifth storyline, you're not going to see this other places. You're not going to see this on ESPN. Okay.
Oh God,
this is a Sports Bitches exclusive. Larsa Pippen is a free agent. Okay, her and Marcus Jordan are broken up, and her son Scottie Pippen Jr., who is on my fantasy team, may end up being a starter for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, Scottie Pippen Jr. can play, and that means Larsa's going to be at a lot of games. I think there's a chance, you know who else is single? Ja Morant. Like, there is a chance we get a Ja Morant, Larsa Pippen love duo, because her son's not really in it. I think she could be traveling up to Detroit to see her ex, Malik Beasley, play, or Malik Beasley. I get McCall Bridges and Malik Beasley confused. Her ex is Malik Beasley. Like, Larsa is going to be sitting courtside at games. Bless the BBL gods. Give us some chaos, please.
Okay, literally, John Moran is half her age. He's 25 and she's 50. That's what she likes. That's sick. That's sicko stuff.
Yeah, but if he wants to, like, make this, like, change on his team, he can't be dating his teammate's mom.
He's got to be straight.
No, he can't.
He can't ruffle a single feather this year.
That would make me bring a gun to a strip club.
Maybe Ja turns her down, but the NBA season is starting and Larsa Pippen is single. That is a gift. That means something's going to happen.
Damn.
That is a gift. That is fun.
Does she have a BBL?
She says she doesn't, but there's literally no way. Like, I watched this woman on television for like 20 years, and she used to not have that butt, and now she has that butt. And butts
oh my god!
Like, oh yeah, the before and after. She is. Housewives of Miami is some of the best reality television.
That is a courtside butt, because that kind of butt can't fit into the regular seats because of the armrest. So you have to sit courtside because there's no armrest.
Yes.
I want to sit courtside. Do I have to get a BBL?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck me then.
Well, you either need a BBL or big fake hooters. So pick one.
I could pad.
You don't want the front. It's way too hard to run.
I think that you could probably sit courtside at the new Clippers arena. Like, that seems that's
really mean. That might be the meanest thing that you've ever said.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Is that your NBA pitch?
That's it. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I love
that
it.
Was
that
well
makes me
done.
excited for it.
That makes me really excited. Yeah. And I'm going to be Googling BBLs after this, so I can at least get into a Lakers game and not a Clippers game.
You can do just injections. I don't think you have to go full surgery.
Oh. I've only gotten Botox. And I need to get some more.
Ask
pro
them to turn
Botox.
Quite the leap from Botox to a BBL.
So I know that we just did like a little syringe in my forehead last time, but I'm wondering.
Yes. If we could put
are there any deals
on things in my butt.
Can you get a Groupon BBL?
I'm trying to think of what I would get.
Die from one of those or something?
Yes, people die from BBLs.
Yeah, because people go to
people
other
die.
countries to get BBLs.
That and lipo. People die from lipo too.
Really?
That's how Kanye's mom died.
Yeah, Kanye's mom, yeah.
Which I do think sort of started,
Yeah.
Ay.
Okay, well,
this is the first time in Sports Bitches history that we're getting to the NFL news absolutely last. But I think it's for good reason, because Sarah's gonna have a little bit of a moment today that Megan and I are gifting to her, because I will give you all the credit here. Sarah called so many things at the beginning of the season. I'm talking like week 1, and all of these things have pretty much come true. So there's 4 things here. I'm going to start with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are undefeated, okay? They are still undefeated. They beat the 49ers this past week, but Sarah said at the beginning of the season, this is not the Chiefs that we're used to. They are soft. Patrick Mahomes has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns this season. Travis Kelce has not looked the same. So, Sarah, are you feeling good? Are you still feeling like they are as soft as you said they were at the beginning of the season? What do you think?
No, I didn't say they were soft. Was
that just words? Me? Was that me?
I just said they don't have as many people coming back as they do this year. Although I did say Xavier Worthy would be, if he can catch the ball as fast as he runs, he will be great, and he is great. They just keep getting injured, but somehow they just keep winning, and I think that is a testament to the schemes that Andy Reid creates. Is that like he knows what he's missing, so he accounts for it. I think Kareem Hunt just came back. So he's been making a little bit of an impact on that team. But I think their defense is just so good. It's really hard to score on them. Yeah. And I think that is all Spagnuolo. I mean, obviously they do get good calls, and but they are scrappy and scruffy. Yep. But this is also the Chiefs that we saw last year. I mean, the Chiefs weren't even this good last year. The Chiefs lost game 1 last year. You know, so
I think that's what Mahomes said this past weekend. He's like, we're always just going to find a way to win, which is terrifying.
but that's what good teams do. Is like you get a 15-yard penalty and they take advantage of that. That's what a good team does, you know.
I saw that the Rams are looking to they're starting to call teams to see if anyone wants Cooper Kupp, and maybe I know he's been injured the past few. What did he get injured last season or the year before? He's not the Cooper Kupp maybe that we saw at the Super Bowl, but this could be interesting. This is the kind of trade that, like, ooh, light a fire under his bum.
I know, but it's like I want to collude then and call the Rams and be like, you can't send me to the Chiefs. Like, that's like when the Chiefs like traded up to get Xavier Worthy. I was like, who is letting that happen? Like, we all need to be colluding to not let the Chiefs get better. Isn't that everyone's like number one
I don't
goal?
know, Patrick Mahomes and Cooper Kupp. That would be hella fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
if he can be healthy.
I don't even know. I mean, freaking Ricky Pearsall came back before Christian McCaffrey, and he was shot in the chest.
I know.
And he's back, and McCaffrey's still out.
Insane.
It is insane.
McCaffrey's like, should I go get shot?
I think that's the thing is like, I think the trade deadline for the NFL is going to be pretty epic because I mean people are already moving and I mean Amari Cooper's already making an impact for the Bills.
Yeah.
And there's some real sellers. Like I said, I would
Raiders.
really love to see Max Crosby on the Lions. I think that is the perfect fit from him because he's from Michigan and it's just like that makes sense with that whole era. And to me, the Lions seem like the only team that could beat the Chiefs. Like, the Lions are that good defensively, and they just wear you out. They wear your offense out. I think
Chiefs-Ravens in the AFC Championship would be very fun.
Again, yeah.
I have heard the Max Crosby, obviously. What I also heard, which I would prefer, is Myles Garrett to the Lions.
Oh, yes. I love this.
Because I want Myles Garrett out of there.
Free him.
That would make me, and like, I would rather see the Browns as sellers as like, oh no, we failed, than I want to see the Raiders because I feel bad for the Raiders.
I know. I see you and I hear you because, and it's also because I think Mark Davis is a great owner and I do think that he's a great person. But he's like the least rich owner, so he doesn't have like he's the least rich billionaire. I don't even know.
Isn't that crazy? Do you think they like bully him?
It is a crazy thing to say.
Poor.
I think he's still more rich than the guy that owns the Chargers, but like it doesn't matter. Like I think you're right. It is hard to see the Raiders be sellers, but I don't really know what their options are. Another option that I think is good for the Lions is Trayvon Walker from the Jaguars because that guy is such a difference maker. I definitely think we're going to see some pass rushers moving around before the trade deadline because everybody needs a pass rusher. You know, lots of lines are banged up right now. And obviously, you know, I mean, the Bucs just lost Godwin and Evans in the same night, which was like insane.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I asked not to see it. I heard CJ's reaction.
I accidentally saw it. I accidentally saw it. And it was going the wrong way.
When they do a replay, I immediately like leave the room whenever they're like, "Oh, let's see the No, why? Don't show the replay. I don't want to see it."
Yeah.
Okay, so you were as I'm listening to this now, Sarah. You're my North Star. I listen to everything you say. Parenting. Comedy, but as we were doing this segment about how you were right, were you right about the Chiefs?
Yeah, I was. Okay. She misquoted me. I was right when I said this isn't the Chiefs from last year. I still don't. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't know.
They're the
if
only
they're
undefeated team left. But
yeah,
I know it's boring.
It is really boring, but the thing is, the 49ers can't beat them. No, the 49ers are not good.
We need the Lions or the Ravens to step up.
The Ravens are very good, and the Ravens are better this year because they have Derrick Henry, who scored a touchdown in every game.
I would love a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl. That would be so fun.
I want them both to win. Yeah. Derrick Henry MVP of Latu Latu Love. Thank you, my babe. Okay, what's the next thing?
Okay, so
about?
we were just talking about the Lions, and Sarah has said from the beginning that Jared Goff is the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. Listen to this, okay? He scored 280 yards and 2 touchdowns with a passer rating of 140 against the Vikings this weekend. That rating made him the only player in league history to have 4 consecutive games with a completion percentage of 80% and a passer rating of 140 or better. And I just checked, okay, before we started recording, Jared Goff is only plus 850 to win MVP. I think that's got to be the sports bitches pick of the year.
Call Sal. Get Sal on the line.
Here's the thing. The reason that people don't consider him the best quarterback in the league is because they're looking at yards. They're like, oh, Justin Herbert threw for 380 yards the other night. Well, why did he have to do that? Because their team was down so far, and the Chargers have not scored a touchdown in the second half since week 1. Okay? Like, they are so bad on offense, and then you see, like, oh, Baker Mayfield threw for 400 yards. Yeah, but, like, the thing about Jared Goff is, he has like 280 yards a game because they're all completions. He doesn't have to throw it 80 yards, on every drive. And they have, 2 studs at running back, so they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, and then their defense is also scoring. Like, everybody is scoring on that team.
The offense just has got to keep humming because we've only seen this one game now without Aiden Hutchinson. And what did the Vikings put on the Lions this weekend? 29? So the offense just needs to keep on. The defense just needs to survive. And the offense needs to keep on humming like they have been doing. They look great.
The NFC North, which, there are years that it's kind of a laughing stock, has become probably the best division. Just like the worst team is the Bears, and they have a rookie quarterback who's playing very well and a very strong defense. So it's a tough division, and I wish the Colts were not playing them this year. They play the NFC North, and I'm like,
it is kind of weird how there's been such a regression of like that whole. Yeah, I know. Like, the NFC North is so much better. The NFC East is, like, such trash. And, like, they used to always be the dominant one. So it's, like, it's fun that there's been more of a mix-up. But I was just, like, even watching Herbert last night, I'm like, man, that draft class, it was, like, him and Burrow. And I think, like, Jordan Love is the only one that's, like, even doing okay.
The Packers are doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like, there's been a lot of regression by those. Even just think about, like, our Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. Like, he had a pretty good game on Sunday, but that was a real first.
Yeah. They're not my Jaguars. They're not mine.
Who do you mean by our?
Did I say our?
You definitely said our, and
you tried to give me the Jaguars.
Well,
and
I guess I
put that on replay.
I think I was talking about our topic of them, about how we always say that they're trash.
We're messing with you.
Don't tell me that. I take everything seriously.
Okay, another thing that I think we were all right about is that Deshaun Watson was not worth that money that they spent. He went out in the game. What's his, like, official diagnosis? Did he tear his ACL?
Achilles. No, Achilles. Yeah, the Achilles is gone. He's done for the year. People were cheering when he got carted off. Stadium. And players were very upset. I think it's also, players were very upset. They were coming to his defense of just saying, like, you should not be cheering for an injured player,
Which I think is understandable.
I think it's completely understandable. And when you're a player, like, you have to defend your teammate in that regard. What I have a problem with is people saying, like, this is a man that put himself on the line. He put his life on the line for this town. And I'm like, first of all, Deshaun did not want to come to Cleveland. He said in the first place that they were off the board. And then when Cleveland came back to him and said, we're going to give you money guaranteed, all of it, and like the most amount, then he was like, oh yeah, Cleveland, I'm in. And let's also remember that these fans who were booing him were cheering him 2 years ago when he came to that town. So
remember this like little kid had a sign that said like "fuck them hoes." Go Deshaun.
Yeah, and they would have like people laying like with erections laying on massage tables in the parking lot at tailgates and just saying, and they would say things like happy endings are not illegal. It's like, well, he wasn't getting happy endings, you asshole. You know what I mean? He was forcing actual legal masseuses. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. I think it's very rich for the executive part of this organization to start to come after fans for being rude when the organization put fans in this position in the first place. Like, you created this scenario, you created this epidemic that you have created by bringing him to that town in the first place, because in your mind, you thought this guy was going to win, and it didn't matter what he had done in his past. And no matter what you think about what Deshaun did or didn't do with women on a massage table, what you should also be upset about, and one reason you shouldn't have even wanted him in the first place, is because he sat out in Houston when he was completely healthy because he just didn't feel like playing there anymore. So that tells you the kind of quarterback that you were getting in the first place before any of the allegations came out.
I think that they for sure probably had an idea that those allegations were out, because I remember being so upset when they were out. This was never going to work. Deshaun Watson, hate to say, is a human being. Okay, he has everybody besides the few gross Browns fans that made those stupid cards and whatever. Everyone hates this man. Everyone wants to see, maybe we'll say like, oh, we wish no one ever got hurt. There's a lot of people that don't want Deshaun Watson playing for the Browns, okay? Everyone is just shooting daggers at him on the field through the TV. Nobody likes this guy. Unless you are made of absolute steel, that is a really hard thing to get over and to get through. He has had the biggest spotlight on him. And the loudest section of fans cheering is when he sucks. Because it's like, get the hell out of here. Who's going to thrive in that environment? Nobody. It was impossible from the jump.
Yeah, it's just such a sad situation from start to beginning.
Start to beginning.
Yeah.
It is. From
Our
start to beginning.
Never. You know what?
It really is.
Never mind.
From start to beginning, it is. It's tough.
Never mind.
It is. It is.
No, I just like as I think about him, and I hope this isn't like too dark or heavy. When things like this, he obviously has hundreds of millions of dollars, and can probably just like stay in his house and have his close circle over. But I do go. I hope he does not end his life, because that is like that feels like a path that is very sadly possible. And I as much as I think that he has done wrong, and the number one thing he needed to do to try and right some of those wrongs was just to admit that he did wrong, which he has never been able to do, never will be able to do because of the money. But it's like, you have money, like, then give them the money and get out of this bullshit. Because you just have to be like, I fucked up and I'm sorry. That's literally what it takes to move on.
He can't admit he's wrong because it's a felony. If you admit that you raped someone, you go to prison.
But like that is the consequence,
right?
That is how you begin healing. Is admission of guilt and accepting what you did, and so he's not going to do that. But it is just like so sad from start to beginning.
From start to beginning, all I'll say, and this is absolutely going to fall on deaf ears, but I would just. I hope that owners moving forward, there's been so many times where us as female fans of the NFL have been disappointed. I remember Kareem Hunt. We were just talking about him, Tyreek Hill. Like, just look at what can happen when you have somebody on your team that is like extremely cancerous. It's not going to work out. So
not worth it.
It's not worth it. You're having to make all of these like amending his contract and like, thankfully for them, they have a little bit of insurance on his yearly salary for 2024, like $13 million out of like the 40 something that he would get this year. But like, how do you sleep at night? Truly,
they made their bed. They made their bed. Those owners made their bed, and that's on them. Like, this is just all of their karma coming back to roost. And the idea that they thought that by, you know, like, trotting out a couple female employees by saying, like, we're so excited to have, like, that was going to make everybody go, oh, in that case, everything's fine. Like, they took the fandom, not just female fans, because there are a lot of men who cannot stand Deshaun for all the same reasons. And they can't stand this organization for the decisions that they made on behalf of a fan base that was now forced to decide if they could still morally cheer for a team that they didn't love.
Yeah. And they're such loyal fans too.
Yes.
Like, they are with you.
Absolute travesty. It is an absolute travesty that they did to their own fan base. It's honestly, it's kind of the equivalent of moving your team in the middle of a night to a different city. It really, it feels like your team just abandoned you and your fandom at the same time.
I was not alive then. I was not alive then, and that man who did that is dead. So the Colts have moved on. The Colts and I have moved on.
Okay, let's end on one last thing that Sarah was right about. Russell Wilson's back, baby. She never lost hope. She didn't doubt it once. She didn't doubt it once.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was a little rusty coming out of the gate. Because he hasn't played in, like, I don't know, 6 months? Who knows how long it's been since he threw a football at full speed on a football field. But as soon as he started, that arm started lubing up, all them joints. Black and gold. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. So in our group chat last night, we were trying to figure out what Russell Wilson's new saying is. And in the post game, he's like, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not going to give you my like season saying. But for some reason, Sarah was 100% convinced that it was black and gold. Let's go.
I thought that was already his slogan.
Maybe he's walking it back. I will say, when they were interviewing him and George Pickens, and George Pickens was standing there like, this guy is such a dork. Like, he truly, like, Russ started, like, talking about God, and George Pickens is like they didn't, I was like, okay, Sarah's right, he is back, but he's still himself.
But that's, even more so he's back. Like, he's back, baby, in all his weirdness.
George Pickens, if you want them deep balls to still keep coming to you, better.
No, he didn't walk off. Care. He was just like, I'm standing here with this guy now.
Also, listen, George Pickens played with us at Georgia. I've watched George Pickens for a long time. He's a little... he's a little loopy. He's like that crazy, confident wide receiver that's going to demand a trade, just like Devontae, just like Diggs, just like everybody, just like
why we love those. That's why we love wide receiver WR1. They keep us on our toes.
Guys, from beginning to start, this podcast has been so fun, and we'll be back next week to break down.
Start to beginning.
From the start to beginning. This week, this podcast has been beautiful. What are we at? Week 7? Week 8? What are we at?
Well, this was week 7 in the NFL, but I think that
we are on to week 8. And we will be back next week, breaking down all the ins and outs of football and basketball. And I'm sure we're going to talk about Georgia again.
Who's that coming down the track?
Who's that coming down the track?
Mean Machine and Red and Black.
Mean Machine. Megan's not even gonna do it with me.
I know, because I want to sing I love LA. We love it. No doctors.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye.